What's up? It's Marv of the Minds Ahead podcast, and for today, I'm going to be giving my prediction for who I believe is going to win between the Lakers versus the Warriors. So let's get into it. But first, I want you guys to hit the like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the channel, show your support. I have about 60 plus episodes on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple, and about 20 plus episodes on YouTube. So be on the lookout for more great content. So let's dive into my prediction. So I'm predicting that the Warriors are going to win this series in 6 games, possibly five, but I'm going to go with six just to be safe. So the Warriors, they have great ball movement. And I feel like this is going to be a huge issue for the Lakers, especially defensively, and trying to find somebody to chase around Steph. Whenever somebody chases around Steph, or two people chase around Steph, it always leaves 2 to 3 other players open. So I feel like that's going to be a huge issue for the Lakers. I also think that the Warriors, they play well defensively, and they're a great rebounding team. And we saw that in display in the last series. Okay. I mean, we already do know that Kevin Looney, he's a beast on the rebounds, but it's been times when the whole team just contributes rebounding. Okay. They rebound on a team effort basis. I mean, even in the last game, Steph, he had 8 rebounds. And the Warriors, they also have a whole lot of experience. A whole lot of their team, they've been through winning. Okay. I mean, including Jordan Poole, Gary Payton II. You also got Moses Moody, Kaminga. So they also have a great bench as well. And this is why I think the Warriors, they definitely do present a bad matchup for the Lakers. And the big reason is because of Steph. It's obvious that he's getting better and better every time that he gets in the postseason. And to me, I feel like the Warriors, they went up against a tougher series than the Lakers did. Yes, the Lakers, they did go up against the 2 seed in the Memphis Grizzlies. But I think that if the Grizzlies were to go up against the Sacramento Kings will beat the Grizzlies in 5 games because the Grizzlies, they're a dumb team. Like we saw when Ja Morant was costing his team with instead of just dumping it off of the pass sometimes, he would try to go airborne and then LeBron James would his high IQ level self would just step in for the charge. And we saw what happened with Dylan Brooks. Now, LeBron James, he didn't really play that great against Dylan Brooks, but it would be times when Dylan Brooks was going through it mentally against LeBron James. And he kind of put himself in that hole. So this is what people don't take into account. Now, as far as the Warriors in their regular season series against the Lakers, yes, they are 1-3 against the Lakers in the regular season. But all 4 of those matchups, they were missing somebody. And since the trade deadline, the Warriors, they had gone up against the Lakers one time. And both Andrew Wiggins and LeBron James was missing. So to me, I just think the Warriors, they have far more experience. They have better ball movement, and they got better coaching when it comes to the adjustments that's going to be made. And I'm also expecting for Steph Curry to have himself a great series because the guards that they will have to try to guard him is either going to be D'Angelo Russell at times, it's going to be Vanderbilt, and it's going to be Dennis Schroeder. Now, I already do know that D'Angelo Russell is not a great defender. We know this. Vanderbilt, I do feel like he's a good defender, but I do feel like he's going to be worn out from having to chase Steph constantly throughout the whole series. I mean, he might end up in the IV just like Matthew Dellavedova did. So I also think that Dennis Schroeder, I do feel like he could keep up with Steph as well, but I'm expecting for Steph to be able to take over in that matchup. And then you also have the Austin Reeves versus Clay situation. Now, we all know that Austin Reeves, he's been getting a James Harden whistle. But I think that Klay Thompson, he's going to contribute defensively. And plus, I think that Austin Reeves, he's going to be running through screens everywhere. He's going to be worn out too, having to chase around Klay Thompson. And I think that Klay Thompson, he's going to show up more than he did the previous series. And I think that the Lakers, they do present some disadvantages, like their size. And also their defense. But to me, I think their offense is something that's really going to hurt them in this series. Because AD, he's too up and down. You don't know what you're going to get from AD. AD, he could either be great or he could be all done in terms of him being out of the series because of him getting injured. And plus, like I said, he's very inconsistent. You don't know what he's going to give offensively or defensively. As for LeBron James, he was playing against the Grizzlies, and he did not really play that well against Dillon Brooks. Okay, if you look at the numbers weren't great. Now, when it comes to LeBron James versus Andrew Wiggins, I do expect for LeBron James to be able to take advantage of Andrew Wiggins' high center of gravity. But I think that Andrew Wiggins, he's going to be making LeBron James work when it comes to him running and also him trying to make athletic plays with Andrew Wiggins. Okay. I think that LeBron James, he does not have the same level of energy that he used to have when he was a little bit younger. Okay. So to me, I just think that the Warriors, they have to not turn the ball over. They're also going to have to stay with the boards. And when it comes to Draymond Green, he's a big reason why that this series can end up going 6 games, because you never know what you're going to get from Draymond. You know, 1 minute he's LeBron James' biggest fan. And plus, then on top of that, he also has a flagrant 2 and a technical foul as well from the previous series. He only needs 2 more points for him to get ejected and to be suspended for a game. So to me, Draymond Green, he's the biggest factor for this series. I mean, he needs to be all the way in mentally. Okay. Now, when it comes to Jordan Poole versus Austin Reeves, it's been chatter on both sides. Is Austin Reeves better than Jordan Poole, or is Jordan Poole better than Austin Reeves? This is the time for Jordan Poole to prove that he's worth the contract that he signed for. Okay? With him making great decisions with the basketball, and with him making timely shots. Okay. Now, I do think that Steph, he's going to average his points. He's going to do his thing, but he's also going to take the others as well with their contributions. One of the things that I could see the Lakers doing is possibly having Looney step out on perimeter to try to guard AD. That may be tough because in the last series, Sabonis, he was afraid to take that 15-footer. This series, you might have to step up and try to block AD or put your hand in his face. So I do feel like this is going to be a little bit more of a difficult matchup for Looney. Now, when it comes to the rebound battle, it's going to be tough. Okay, the Warriors, they rebound as a collective, while the Lakers, they kind of depend on LeBron James and also Anthony Davis and Vanderbilt. So those are the players that they depend on for rebounding. Now, as for the coaching edge, I'm going to have to give that to Steve Kerr. I mean, he's done this 4 times in terms of winning championships, and plus he's been to 6 finals. So I'm going to have to give the coaching edge to Steve Kerr. He knows the adjustments to make. So to me, I feel like this series is going to be dependent on the adjustments that help, and also who's going to be the X factor in this series. For the Lakers, I think that the X factor is possibly going to be either Vanderbilt or D'Angelo Russell. When it comes to the Warriors, it's going to be either Looney or Andrew Wiggins. Now, when it comes to the team with the better bench, I'm going to have to lean towards the Warriors. Think about it. Practically everybody on the bench has won. When it comes to Jonathan Kuminga, if he comes off the bench and he contributes, remember, he's won before. They know the experience of winning, despite them being young. Gary Payne II, huge defensively. He knows the experience. And plus, when it comes to him just having a feel of when to cut, he knows exactly when to do it. And then also, Moses Moody, who contributed last series. So I just feel like the Warriors, they have far too much experience, high basketball IQ, and also they also got Steph Curry, who I believe is the best player in this series. And then you also got the coaching edge as well. So this is why I'm going to have to be going with the Warriors. It's obvious that LeBron James, he's 1-3 against Steph. We all know that. Okay. And when it comes to the 2016 finals, remember, it was the perfect storm for LeBron James to win that championship. It was. I mean, people, they hype up that championship so much. They call it the greatest comeback in NBA history. When the truth of the matter is before the 2016 season, the Las Vegas odds had the Cavaliers winning because they had the best roster in the NBA. What the Warriors did was they just played their best in the regular season every night. So basically, it was no other level that they went up to in the playoffs. That's what happened. And we already know what happened in the playoffs. Steffi got injured in the playoffs against the Rockets. He was out for about a week and a half, goes up against Portland. And then you also had Andrew Bogut being out. Then you also had Andre Iguodala going through back spasms. You had the Draymond Green suspension. And then it took all that for the Cavaliers to win by 4 points. Not a blowout, but 4 points. Now, am I saying that the Cavs did not deserve to win? Of course they did. They deserved the victory because at the end of the day, LeBron James, he was phenomenal, but so was Kyrie Irving. I mean, he probably put on the greatest second banana display in NBA history. But when it comes to Harrison Barnes, he was trash. Garbage. Couldn't hit an open shot. When it comes to the Cavs versus the 2016 Warriors, they should have won. And they also should have been a 60-plus win team. And they weren't because LeBron James and his teams, they normally underperform in the regular season. We're all aware of this. So this is the reason why that when it got to the playoffs and the finals and stuff like that, why the Warriors were so favored to win. But anybody who's thinking knows that the Cavs really did overall have the better roster. And the crazy thing about the whole thing is you see what happens when bench players leave, like Ian Clark. What happened to him? What happened to Quinn Cook? Even though he wasn't on that team. But we all know that those types of players, they're not great after they go on to a different team. What happened to Mo Spates? After he left the Warriors, he was trash. Same thing with Barbosa. So we all know about the Warriors in 2016 versus the Cavs. It's either people they want to give this as the greatest comeback in NBA history, or they want to say LeBron James was galaxies above everybody else, and there was nobody close in town. Well, the truth is that's not true. It's just not. It's either LeBron James was close to his peers or he wasn't. And the truth of the matter is if he was galaxies above Steph Curry, like everybody wants to make it out to be, he would have gentleman swept Steph Curry. It wouldn't go to game 7 and the Warriors losing by 4 points. It wouldn't go that way. So to me, I think that over the years, the talent has always been close. Okay? LeBron James, he's not galaxies above Kevin Durant. He's not galaxies above Giannis. He's not galaxies above the best version of Kawhi. He's just not. But everybody, they want to make him seem like he is because the LeBron James propaganda, the media, they are kings of this stuff. ESPN, First Take, First Things First, Undisputed. They talk about LeBron James every day. every day. So I don't have an issue with LeBron James. I just wish that people would have an objective eye towards him, not being a fanboy or a fangirl. Just be more objective. Is LeBron James really two all time? I don't think so. But he's a great player. He's in the top 10. I put him at number 7. And to me, a case could be made that he's number 5. I'm not mad at that. But when people want to make him number 2 all time, that's when it doesn't make any sense. I mean, even Michael Jordan, he wasn't miles above Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone. He wasn't miles above them. He wasn't miles above those players. He was better. He had to prove it, but nobody acted like he was so much better than everybody that it wasn't even close. Okay? He's not galaxies above everybody. I have him number 1 all time though. But I don't think that he's galaxies above everybody. So that's my issue for when it comes to how the LeBron James media portrays him. I mean, think about this. Everybody, they want to praise how LeBron James beat the 73-9 Warriors team. But nobody talks about how he had the chance to beat the Warriors in 2017. They were the better roster. But for whatever reason, they always want to say in 2016, that Warriors team was the greatest team ever assembled. That's nowhere near close. A better case is for 2017. In 2016, it was only one superstar on that team. One. That's Steph. And what happened in 2015? When it was mano a mano, superstar versus superstar. Steph won that matchup. So that's my thoughts on LeBron James propaganda and also my prediction. My prediction is for the Warriors to win this series in 6 to possibly 5 games. I do believe that the Lakers have a chance to win this series, but it's going to have to be based on the Warriors being sloppy with the basketball. If they're giving them 20 plus turnovers per night, that could be an issue. If the Warriors aren't playing well defensively, that could be an issue that the Lakers could take advantage of. The Lakers' size could be an issue. Okay. And also the Warriors being arrogant. If there's a slight chance if the Warriors being arrogant in this series and thinking it's all fun and games, they could lose the series. I mean, they thought it was all fun and games with Sacramento, and they ended up getting pushed to 7. If they think it's all fun and games against the Lakers, they could lose. That's another thing. But as far as the Lakers, they have a great defense. They have a high basketball IQ player in LeBron James as well. And they also have some very good role players. But like I said, I think that Steph Curry is the best player in this series. I think he's the best player in this series. I think that he's the best player in the world. It's not by a galaxy margin, but I do think that he's the best player. And I do feel like the coaching edge goes to Steve Kerr. I also feel like the bench edge goes to the Warriors as well. And when it comes to their defense, I feel like they're definitely going to step up as well. So forget about the regular season record. Both teams are missing players throughout the regular season when they matched up against each other. And also, they only faced each other one time in the post-trade deadline, like I said. And I also want to say this series depends on Draymond as well. So that's my prediction. Warriors in 6. To me, I don't think that there's necessarily a lot on the line for both players. I don't think that this is a legacy series. Okay? In my opinion, I already do think that Steph is the best player of this generation. Okay? Remember, he stayed on one team, and everybody they're trying to copy off his situation when it comes to them shooting threes. Most teams they don't play their own, type of style. Even LeBron James, he's taking 30 footers for whatever reason. So when it comes to LeBron James, I do think that LeBron James overall for career is above Steph. But if Steph wins, there's nothing on the line in terms of LeBron James' legacy or Steph's legacy, in my opinion. I still have Steph top 10, and I still have LeBron James at 7. So that is my opinion on this situation. Okay? Like Steph, for instance, he's won the most championships in this era. When it comes to LeBron James, he's won 4, but it's been on 3 different teams. Okay? So when it also comes to the relatability of Steph compared to LeBron James is not close, because people, they actually think they could be Steph for whatever reason, even though what people underrate about Steph is actually his hand-eye coordination. Okay? That is extremely elite. When it comes to athleticism, he's definitely more athletic than me and everybody else who's regular. Okay? But when it comes to his peers, it's not really the same. But Steph, he does have a 30-plus inch vertical. And a lot of people, they want to try and make it seem like they could be Steph, but Steph, his conditioning is of the level of an elite boxer, an elite soccer player. Some people, no matter how often you run, you'll never get that level of conditioning. So that's something that people are missing for when it comes to the relatability factor when it comes to Steph. And plus, we already know about his skill set. He could do everything. Pass, dribble, shoot. So I already think that Steph is the best player of this generation. He's done the most winning on one team. Never left. When it comes to LeBron, I do think that LeBron James is a better player overall. I already did say that. Okay. I don't need to go through the greatness of LeBron. We've seen it. If LeBron James wins this series and then he ends up losing in the conference finals or the finals, then I can't, you know, uplift his legacy over Steph. Either way. So that's just how I view it. But as far as if either one of these guys win the championship this year, then that will definitely spark me to want to have a discussion. Will Steph end up higher on the all-time list? Will LeBron James end up higher on my all-time list? Okay? Like, I'm not going to put LeBron James as the greatest player of all time. But an open discussion for me would be for him to be above Magic or Tim Duncan. That could be open discussion, in my opinion. Okay. So that's it on my perspective on the series, the LeBron James propaganda, the the matchups, Draymond Green, who's the best player of this generation, and have a great rest of your week and weekend. And remember, let's not be inches, feet, meters, nor yards. Let's be miles ahead. Have a good one.